Hey guys, thanks for showing up for this video. In today's video, I'm breaking down the process of how you can go about building an e-commerce website from scratch. There are other options that you can go about to avoid building your own website from scratch, but there are also issues that I think comes with that. The best options that I think are available today that you could easily just flip your laptop and they start selling online is selling on third-party websites like e-commerce platforms like Amazon, Shopify. You could also list your products on Etsy as well as on eBay. Now, the downside to selling products on a third-party platforms is the fact that there are rules and regulations when you are operating on somebody's website. So these things actually do limit you on what you can do and what you can't do. But the benefits also are the fact that when you set up your website, when you set up your shop on Amazon or eBay, even on Etsy, you don't have to pay or maybe to you don't have to have your own payment processing system in place. These services are handled and provided for by the platform. The only thing you've got to get is your product listed on the site. Traffic is provided by Amazon. Payment processing is also provided by Amazon. You just provide whatever product you are selling. You list your product and then you're already up on the market and you're selling. But the reason why you would want to go and build your own website, your own e-commerce website from scratch, is the fact that you want independence of how to run and manage your your e-commerce website. And this video, what it's going to do is break the processes of doing that step by step, so that if you want to build your own e-commerce website from scratch, you know where you can start from. And if you follow the steps that I'm outlining in this video, you might as well find yourself at the end of this course with an e-commerce website that is capable of listing a product, selling that product to your audience, collecting the money, and shipping that product to your happy customer. All right. So the first step that I want to point out to you is before you do anything, before you even think about building that e-commerce website, is identifying a problem that you want to solve. A lot of people jump online and they think that if they whip a website together, then that's it. Money is gonna start rolling, but that's not the case. People who are making money online, they are making money because they are solving real problems. A good example would be, let's say you have identified a problem that has got to do with acne, and you decide that you want to provide a solution to people who are struggling with acne. A good starting point would have been if you have experienced the same, and in the process of solving your own challenges, then you're flipping the script and you are turning that problem that you have into a business. But there are certain businesses you don't really have to have an experience with the problem you are solving. You only have to identify the opportunity. So the first step is identifying that problem if it exists. And once you have identified the problem, then you want to move on to finding the best way of solving that problem. Once you found the best option of solving the problem, then you move on to look at the possibilities of either creating a product or maybe identifying a product that is already available on the market that you can promote and sell to your audience or to your customer base. That's a starting point. This process that I've just broken down here quickly is what you would consider as the basis of doing opportunity sculpting, as well as the marketing, market viability, to kind of like identify an opportunity if there is money to be made in whatever option that you want to go into. This is what is going to form a basis of sort of like a business model you want to take on when you are forming your website. I'm jumping ahead of myself here by mentioning business model. We are gonna talk deeper into what business modeling is all about, and how you go deciding which option is best suited for you. But I'm gonna kind of like just lay out the foundation in this video, and then we are gonna go into details step by step, so that you can not only just listen to me talking to you, but I can also jump in on my computer and show you everything step by step, so you can follow what I'm doing on my computer, and you do what you need to do on your side, and by the end of the day, we all have an e-commerce website that we want. So once you've decided on the product that you want to promote, you've identified the problem you're solving, you've identified the commercial viability, you have identified the product you are going to sell, then you move on to thinking about what you are going to call that business, the naming process. It's important to get these things right in the first place, because you just can't pick a product, or maybe you can't name a business, then move back and start thinking, okay, my business is called James Watson of London, or whatever it is that you want to call your business, and then you start saying, okay, so what do I sell on my website? In most cases, the process that I teach on my programs that I either provide for free, or maybe my programs that are available on my website for as a premium service, which I sell, they are what we call niche focused programs, where I show you how to get a bigger picture of the market, and then narrow it down to a specific targetable audience, where you are able to create authority within that, and then start making money. So in order for you to do this, you have to be very, very strategic in the way how you name your business, the way how you create your business, the way how you position your business as well, and your brand. It all gels together, and to do this properly in a clever way, that's not time consuming. We do it as a step by step. So once you figure that out, and you've come up with the name, then you want to move on to go and look at availability of those names in a form of a domain. You want to secure a domain, so you register a domain, and then you go and secure web hosting, but not forgetting that before doing all these things, you also want to make sure that social handles like Twitter, Instagram, as well as the Facebook and Pinterest, they are all available for you, because it can be problematic for you to create to make all these decisions. You've created the business is there, and now a lot of e-commerce sales these days, they are driven by social traffic, and then you go on Facebook, you search for your social handles for your account. You find that somebody has already registered them. It becomes a problem because now you have a brand that needs to have a presence on Facebook, but you can't use the brand name that is registered in a domain format, because somebody has already registered it on Facebook. So it's always important to make sure that you get this balance spot on, and making sure that by the time you start the process of registering everything, you've jotted down everything is available for you. You've put everything in place, and you know that my domain is available. I've found a cheaper web hosting that can allow me to host my website, but I also have all the social handles that I need. If it needs adjusting, then you can adjust according to priority. If it's not a priority, you don't have to bother with it. That's how I would go about doing it. And following that, you want to make sure that you have what we call a payment processing system in place. Now, for me, most of my businesses have got a handful handful payment processing systems, but when I started with a PayPal account. You only need a PayPal account to receive and to get paid for the products that you list online. The rest of the other payment processing systems are bells and whistles. It's just that you need more options in terms of how you collect the payments and stuff like that. But with a PayPal account to hand, you are ready to go. So we need to keep things basic here. So make sure that you also think about acquiring a PayPal account. If you already have a PayPal account, that's perfectly fine, because it doesn't matter whether it's a personal PayPal account or a business PayPal account, because what you would do is, once the money has started coming in, you can contact PayPal, or just log into your account and convert it into a business PayPal account. Usually it takes about 5 minutes to do that. It's not even a problem. So the whole process is gonna kind of like give you an opportunity to look at getting those steps all in order. So you need to choose a domain. This is the making sure that if you're building a skin solution website, the name should relate to what you are solving. It's a lot easier for people to kind of like just look at the name of the business, and then they realize, okay, this is about acne. They look at the name of a business, they also realize, okay, this is about cats. So choose a domain name for your e-commerce website. Then decide on what sort of platform are you going to build that website on. If it's an e-commerce website, there are so many options that are open source that are available that you can actually use to build your e-commerce website. We have Magento, we have OpenCart, we have Shopify, we have WordPress. All these platforms, they are gonna play a role in how you make a decision. We have Wix, we have Weebly, these are website builders that you can actually use to build an e-commerce website as well. So you need to think about that the choice of platform that you want to use is going to have an impact on quite a lot of things going forward. For example, like if you want to combine blogging as well as the having that e-commerce in the one platform, what's the best option you can use? You also need to think about the design of your e-commerce website. How do you want that to look like? At this step is a bit technical, but it makes sense that if a buyer comes on your website, how many steps do you want that buyer to take before they can actually check out? Some people take a customer 3, 4, 5 steps, and if the experience they're having for them to actually buy the product and check out is overwhelming, they will just bounce off. They'll drop the cart. They'll pick the product and drop the cart because you're taking too long to process. You've got to understand that e-commerce is about having an experience that you want to come back to again and again. And a lot of problems that e-commerce owners have is the lack of attention. Customers, they're very quick at switching from one thing to another. Think of a mother who has 2, 3 kids and she's trying to get on Amazon to buy a milk bottle that she wants to use for feeding. She only has 5 seconds before a child screams saying, "Okay, mommy, I want this." So what did Amazon do? Amazon has put in place a one-click checkout. You just hit one button and you're ready to check out. And your credit card, whatever, if you've shopped on Amazon once, everything is connected. You just hit once, that's it, it's done, it's coming, it's on its way. Tomorrow somebody is gonna knock on your door to drop it, to deliver that product. That's a huge plus to baby boomers, because they don't have time to waste in the flipping from one page and filling forms and doing all sorts of things. So when you are thinking of how do you want your e-commerce website to look like, how do you want the design to look like, it's not just about the good looks or making the website look beautiful for you, but it's about thinking about the customer who is going to pay you so you can pay your bills. The other thing is like I've already alluded to, thinking about payment processing systems you want to put in place. It's okay to start with the basic minimum, which is like using PayPal, but it's also important to think about what else would you put in place to allow for maximum conversion on your website. Would you consider offline payments? Would you consider a Stripe, where a customer makes payments using their credit cards without having to pick up the phone and call you, or maybe having to have a PayPal account to use for checkout and things like that? Would you consider mobile payments? Those are some of the things that you want to think when you are putting your payment processing decisions in the first place. The decisions are not necessarily only about what is happening now, but it's also planning ahead. So when you want to start taking and adding certain things, or maybe certain options available to your payment processing system, how do you want it to look like? Because some payment processing systems don't really gel very well with others, and what you don't want is to have a website that's drawing a great deal of customers coming to buy products on your website, and then because the payment processing system you have in place is shit, and you start losing customers. The other thing is I'm going to show you step by step how you can go about adding products to your website. How do you list a product? What sort of factors do you take into consideration when listing a product? Things like there are so many. If you go online, you find that a lot of there are so many software solutions that offer you the quickest way of listing a product, like mass importing of products. There are pros and cons to mass importing product on a huge scale, where you are importing 10, 15, 20, even 40 products. The downside to this is that the software you're using, pretty much everybody is using, and the listing style the software is using to pull the products from wherever you're pulling the products is what everybody else is using, what the website that you're pulling from is using, and that becomes a problem for you to actually rank that product on Google when 10, 50 products are ranking already above you using the same content. So there's a strategic plan that you've got to put in place to make sure that you are the way how you list your products also takes SEO into consideration. I'm also going to walk you through step by step on how you can go about testing your checkout to make sure that your PayPal account is able or is capable of taking payments and there are no bottlenecks whatsoever. And then I will also move on and delve deeper into what you could do in terms of SEO to rank your products online. These are things that you could do. Invest just a bit of time without hiring anybody and paying them a great deal of money you don't have. So I'll be breaking down all these things step by step, and I'll also be showing you on my computer on how you could go about doing what we are talking about. So there's a link below this video. Make sure to subscribe so that when I publish these videos, these tutorial videos and whatever guides that I've put together for you guys, make sure that you subscribe so that you can get notified when that is published. The other thing as well, I've put together what we call a 12-point checklist for starting an online business. This is like a document that is going to prepare you for things that you need to think about before you start creating your own e-commerce website online. It's important that you click the link below this video and get that downloaded, because it gives you what we call worksheets. So you can tick, okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. I mentioned this checklist plan because some of you guys on this call, you already have what would we call skills and the stuff that you've already been doing online that you can put on the table. You probably, maybe you already have a blog. Maybe what you're looking for is how you could go about monetizing your website. So if you're just looking at the best ways of monetizing your website and doing whatever is needed to start making online, to start making money online, then that's perfectly fine. That checklist is gonna help you. So yes, once again, guys, thanks for showing up for this video. Remember to click the link below, download that guide, and subscribe to my channel. All right, cheers.